Go.
Hello, this is Channel 6 News reporting from downtown Ottawa at the Artificial Intelligence Conference. Today we will be talking to two different people about their opinions on artificial intelligence, and we will also be talking to another two people who are helping organize this event about the Chinese room experiment as well as the Swamp Man experiment. First, let's talk to Bobby McBrow about his opinions on artificial intelligence. Mr. McBrow, what do you think about artificial intelligence?
Personally, I think that AI is not believable. The possibility of building a machine that can perform tasks that require human intelligence seems pretty impossible to me. Just think about a machine that can think and make decisions by themselves. It seems pretty unrealistic.
Well, have you heard about the Deep Blue? It's a machine that was built to be able to beat the best chess player in the world. And if you haven't heard about it, what do you think?
I have heard about the Deep Blue. And, it was built by man. So it can do everything that man can do. All the different moves and what time to do certain moves specifically. But the computer is not thinking for itself what move it should do.
Interesting. All right, well, thank you, Mr. McBrow, for your opinion on artificial intelligence. The next person we will be talking to has an opinion that is the complete opposite of Bobby McBrow. Hello, Cam Garbutt.
Hey.
You were right beside Mr. McBrow when he was talking about what he thinks about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
It used to be something that people thought could only exist in science fiction or novels and movies, but the advances in modern technology prove that our level of intellect is rising to a level that we couldn't really have predicted. So my say is that eventually, I think, we'll be able to create something as intelligent as you.
Interesting. Now this is an opinion of someone who is attending this conference who agrees with artificial intelligence. Now we are going to speak to two different organizers of the Artificial Intelligence Conference.
Go.
The first person we will be talking to will be explaining the Chinese room experiment. Hello, Jean Thomas. Can you please explain to our audience what exactly the Chinese room experiment is?
Why, yes, I would be more than happy to explain this experiment. The Chinese room is a thought experiment created by John Searle. It was created to address the question of whether a machine can speak a language and actually understand what it is saying. A person is in a room acting as a computer and understands Chinese. People outside the room slide Chinese characters under the door, and the person in the room who understands Chinese will be able to reply in Chinese by simply following the instructions of the computer program. All the computer really does is behave as though it understands Chinese. It takes the Chinese characters as input and follows the instructions of a program built inside of it. It then produces its own response back and puts the Chinese symbols as an output. This experiment proves that the computer is just spitting out Chinese symbols but not exactly understanding what it is saying.
So what ended up being the findings of this experiment?
Well, the main question Sear wanted to answer was if the machine literally understood Chinese, or was it merely simulating the ability to speak Chinese? And the answer to those questions was that the computer did not understand Chinese. Since Sear could copy the Chinese characters and give them as input but did not understand how he actually made those characters, then we must assume that the computer does not understand either.
Well, thank you very much for explaining this experiment to everyone watching. We will now ask another organizer to explain the Swamp Man theory.
Go.
Hello, Shane.
Hey.
Would you like to please explain to everyone the Swamp Man theory?
I like to explain it as a story. Suppose a man named Davidson goes hiking in the swamp and is hit by lightning. At the same time, nearby in the swamp, another lightning bolt randomly rearranges a bunch of molecules such that, entirely by coincidence, they take on exactly the same form that Davidson's body had at the moment of his death. That being, it created a swamp man who had a brain structurally exactly the same as the original Davidson. When the duplicate of Davidson leaves the swamp, he goes back to his family and friends, and he will act in the same way and do normal things that he would have done.
What does this story tell us?
It brings in the concept of zombies. They're exactly like you and me, but do not have minds of their own. It's the same concept of a computer. Does the swamp man actually have a mind like the original Davidson did? Philosophy, psychology, even neuroscience all have different opinions on AI.
Interesting. Well, this theory sounds like quite a complicated one. This concludes this report on artificial intelligence. If anyone has any more questions or would like to learn more about artificial intelligence, then come on down to the Artificial Intelligence Conference in downtown Ottawa. Thanks to everyone who let us talk to us today. We appreciate your input. From Channel 6 News, we thank you for listening.